Hello everyone, welcome to Christian Religious Studies class. Today we are looking at the topic Paul before Felix. That is the trial of Paul before Felix, and you can get that in the Bible in Acts of the Apostles chapter 24 from verse 1 to 23. That is the Bible verse where you can get the story of the trial of Paul before Felix. So at the end of the lesson, we should be able to narrate Paul's encounter with Governor Felix, and as well state Paul's defense before Felix. Lastly, we should be able to list lessons from the encounter of Paul with Felix. Now, the story of Paul's trial before Felix. The Jews accused Paul to be a troublemaker who had caused rebellion among the Jews all over the world. They also said that he was the ringleader of the Christians who had made the temple unholy by his actions. Now the question here is, who are the Jews? The Jews, or the Jewish people, are an ethno-religious group and a nation originating from the Israelites. What do I mean by ethno-religious group? They are unified by a common word, religious, known as Judaism. So you can say that a Jew is a person whose religion is Judaism. So they accused Paul of being a troublemaker and also the ringleader of the Christians who had made the temple unholy by his actions. So based on the accusations leveled against Paul by the Jews, Paul was brought before the Roman governor Felix to defend himself against charges made by the Jews. The Roman governor then was who? Governor Felix. He tried Paul the second time. This is the second trial of Paul. The first trial of Paul was before the Sanhedrins. Who are the Sanhedrins? The Sanhedrins are the Supreme Council and the Tribunal of the Jews. They are the Supreme Council and the Tribunal of the Jews. That is, they are the supreme religious body. They were the people that tried Paul at first. So this is the second trial of Paul by who? Governor Felix. So Felix asked Paul to defend himself against the chargers. Who are the chargers? The Jews that accused him of being a what? A troublemaker and the ringleader of Christians who had made the temple what? Unholy. But Paul told the governor that all the charges were false. That was how he defended himself. That all the charges were false. That he did not commit any of the crime he was accused of, but he admitted that he was a Christian and a follower of the new religion. But he was obedient to the Jewish law and religion. Yes, he denied the fact that he was a troublemaker and a ringleader of Christians who made the temple holy. He denied all that, but he admitted that he was a Christian and a follower of the new religion. The new religion there is the resurrection. They believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And again, he made them know that he was obedient to the Jewish law, such as prohibiting prohibition against the eating of blood. That is one of the Jewish law. Prohibition against the eating of what? Blood. Not only that, even pork and human ritual slaughter of animals. And again, he obeyed the Jewish law, which states that men should not lie with other men. So this was how Paul defended himself before Governor Felix. Then, having said that, he said the Jews, the Jewish religion itself, spoke about the resurrection of the righteous. That is their religion itself. The Jewish religion, Judaism, spoke about the resurrection of the righteous and of the wicked people on the day of judgment. He said his accusers had nothing against him. Yet because to them they believed in the resurrection of the righteous on the judgment day and of the wicked people on the judgment day. So for Paul to follow the new religion is never a crime. The new religion there is that he believed in the resurrection of who? Jesus Christ. And the Jewish religion believed in the resurrection of the righteous. Christ himself is righteous. So he said his accusers had nothing against him, which is true. He concluded by saying that he was on trial because of his belief in the resurrection from the dead of who? Jesus Christ. Felix did not find Paul guilty of any offense, yet he did not set him free. He said he would wait for the Roman captain who brought Paul to be tried by him. And who was that? The Roman captain that brought Paul to be tried by Governor Felix was Claudius Lysias. Claudius Lysias was the Roman captain who brought Paul to be tried by Governor Felix. Felix did not find Paul guilty, yet he did not set him free. Because of what? He wanted a bribe from Paul before he could do what? Release him. He wanted Paul to bribe him, as in give him some money before he could do what? Set him free. But Paul did not bribe him. Paul was therefore left in prison till another governor succeeded Felix. And the man that succeeded Governor Felix was who? Porcius Festus. He was the man that took over from Governor Felix after his reign as a governor. So these are ways Paul defended himself and the reaction of Governor Felix towards Paul during his what? During his trial. So having known the story, let's take a look at the moral lessons or the significance of the study. Number 1, telling lies about others and making false accusations against them is bad, just as the Jewish did. They lied against Paul, thereby accusing him of being a troublemaker that has caused rebellion in Jewish land and all over the world. Not only that, he was accused of being the ringleader of Christians who had made the temple what? Unholy. It is very bad for one to tell, lies against another, bearing false accusations that are not true. Secondly, acting violently against people who disagree with you is bad. And thirdly, as Christians, you must learn to pray to God through Jesus to have the spiritual courage to stand up and speak for Christ anywhere and before any authority. As a Christian, you must face temptation. You must face trials. Even Christ himself was tempted. Christ himself was tried, but he overcame all. Paul was tried, and God gave him that courage to stand up and speak for Christ. He prayed to God for that courage, and it was granted unto him. So as Christian, you must learn to pray to God, because definitely trials must come, and when you pray to God for that spiritual courage, God would definitely do what? Answer your prayer.